This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I am Pete.
And I'm Giff.
There
Pete, you sound like you're on the delicious dish tonight with your intro there. It's very soft.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, that makes me think of
it. Okay, I'm working on it.
my kid has been doing podcasts as an assignment at school, and he's been borrowing my microphone. And I got to hear, and like him and his friends, they talk very soft and very serious like this, and it's really fun to listen to.
Yes.
Chip off the old block.
Yes, he is.
All right, guys.
Sort of like that. It reminds me of that SNL Christmas skit with Alec Baldwin, the sweaty balls.
That would
they
be
started.
the delicious dish.
Yes. Oh, that's what
I was
okay.
referring to.
All right.
Excellent.
Okay. We are here for our February episode tonight. Yeah, we're coming back in March, people. We're back next month, and we're going to tell you all about it tonight. It's going to be fantastic. So we're back here to look ahead. What we want to do is look ahead to 2024. We're going to share what we're looking forward to personally, and then we're going to talk about what's to come for Pop Culture Yearbook this year. Yeah. So it's a jam-packed episode. It's just great.
Excellent summary.
So it's kind of like our last episode. Oh, go ahead.
I want to point something out. What date are we releasing this?
It'll be on your birthday, Pete.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
As long as you get it posted up there on time, it'll be on your birthday.
Thank you.
So when you're listening to this, you can stop and you can go on our social media and wish Pete a happy 48th birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then while you're at it, you can wish me one too, because you missed mine. It was last month.
I didn't miss it.
Happy belated.
I sent you a very nice Instagram reel on your birthday. Didn't hear anything back. I guess you didn't like it there very much.
I don't remember. Okay, I'll have to go back and see. All right, guys. Like last month where we talked about last year, we went around the horn. So kick it off, Pete. What are you looking forward to in 2024?
Oh, you want me to go first? I can do that. So let me start with this.
It's your birthday.
A little bit of a tale that something I came across in the last month or so. Brad, I've made you slightly aware of this, but one day a few weeks ago, I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook, and I came across an article. You know, like there's just millions of worthless articles on there, but it said something like baseball card sells for $12,000 or something like that. And I said, you know what? I do have. It just inspired me. I don't know why, but I was like, I have a box full of baseball cards from when I was a kid. And I know I've got a lot of them. I don't know how many, but I was like, you know what? I should crack that open, because I literally don't think I've opened it or looked at them since I was at least in high school, probably not even since middle school. And the box has just been moved around everywhere I've moved, but I haven't cracked them back out. So I opened it up and I found what I had. I had way more than I remember having or expected that I would have. I had 6,283 cards, including the complete sets of Topps 1987, 88, and 89, and Fleer 1990 were the big sets. And then I had
good years.
Yeah. And I had a bunch of other ones in like random cards that I don't even remember buying at all. I remember getting the complete sets for Christmas. That's what my parents would give me. And then I would spend Christmas Day sorting and alphabetizing the cards and everything. So when I open it up, I mean, the cards that I want to look at are really super easy to find. And then there was a bunch of ones that were not sorted. And I spent a lot of time over the course of the last few weeks, like organizing them and everything. And then I started also checking the values of them. And what I found out about the cards, and I haven't really been into the trading game at all, but if you send them in, of course you want to look at it. And almost all my cards, by the way, are in what appears to be perfect or near perfect condition, just like they're straight out of the box. So
I believe they use mint as the description for
yes, that. Mint condition, correct. And so what I found was that some of the cards are potentially worth, $300-400 just for each of the cards. And if I've got, obviously they're not nearly going to be all worth that much, but if I've got 6,000 of them, that might be some good money sitting there, right? So I actually went through them all. I've identified, I'm starting with the 1987 set, and you want to have them sent in and have them graded. And if they grade at a 10, it's on a 1 through 10 scale. You send them into a place called PSA. I don't even know. It's like professional sports something, but they'll grade the card and send it back. If it's a 10, that exponentially increases the value of it. That's where it could be worth, $400 or whatever. Mm-hmm. If it's a 9, that same card might only be worth like $30 or less.
Oh, wow. It drops off precipitously.
It does. But here's the kicker is that it costs, each card that you have them grade costs $20 to grade it.
Oh, well, yeah, they got to do something to make money on it. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but it's a gamble, and you really want to do your research before you send it in. And so I started out by identifying just from the 1987 set. I identified the ones that I thought. I actually bought a little tool because one of the things is if it's in great condition, that's one thing, but the picture itself must be perfectly centered, which is harder than you think. It's not on many of the cards are not perfectly. Yeah. And they're cut like on a big cutting thing. Mm-hmm. And so using my little tool that I bought, and tool. That was only, that was like, I paid $10 for it on Amazon. And, but I did send in from 1987, I sent in 10 cards, and it takes, they say, up to 3 months for them to grade it and send it back. So now I'm playing the waiting game. I'm going to read off the list of 10 cards that I've sent in, and I'm waiting, and I'm praying for a lot of 10s. So I've got a Don Mattingly All-Star card, Ricky Henderson, Ryne Sandberg, Nolan Ryan, Jose Canseco, Bo Jackson, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, and Barry Larkin. And then I have one, a 1990 Michael Jordan card, which that will probably be the most valuable one if it rates well.
Mm-hmm. And these are the baseball cards were from 87, you said?
Yes, all the ones I just read off are from 87, except the Michael Jordan one.
So back when Bonds' head would actually fit on a card?
This was Bonds' rookie card and Mark McGwire's rookie card.
Wow.
And Bo Jackson's Future Stars rookie card. And those are the names that are really, really top of the food chain. Mm-hmm. Probably not surprising, but like even... you'd think like Tony Gwynn would be worth a lot, like in that $200 range, but it's really not. There's like a super upper tier, and those names keep showing up. I'm researching on eBay. The names that keep popping up are McGwire, Bonds, Bo Jackson, Nolan Ryan, and Ken Griffey. And this is before Griffey, but Griffey, I do have a bunch of Griffies from my future sets, but of course he wasn't around in 87 yet. So
I will give you $400 for each Shane Mack card that you have.
That's a deal. I have
only if it's graded a 10 by me.
By you, okay. I've got a Shane Mack Padres card.
Yep.
To
quote Seinfeld, good luck with all that.
But here are the ones that didn't make the cut. I got Darryl Strawberry. Which I think the card is it's a really awesome looking card. The way he's, I
love that font on there. The way their names are, that was my favorite thing.
And from what I understand, that card is excellent for cutting cocaine.
Yes, it absolutely. But the uniform, I love the card. The uniform, the pinstripes, the way he's batting. I don't know. I just like it. I got. This is just a couple, by the way. I've got here. I've got Future Stars Rafael Palmeiro. Wade Boggs is one. These are ones that, by the way, this first set of 10 is sort of like my pilot. So when they come back, I'm going to try and figure out, okay, how did what I think I was doing right to evaluate my cards? What did I do wrong? What can I be looking for that I wasn't really? And by the way, I've got an Ozzie Smith card here too.
Sounds like any profits you make off this, you can donate to the Pop Culture Yearbook Buy Me a Coffee page to support our
show.
That. Gifford, are you selling any baseball cards this year?
I am not. I am not selling anything big, and as far as I know. As far as things that I'm looking forward to this year, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go back to something I've already done this year. Probably the biggest thing that is going to happen for this year. I went on a weeks-long trip to Turks and Caicos.
Oh, yeah.
For my buddy's 50th birthday party. And it was absolutely wonderful. 2 words to describe this trip would be pampered and relaxed. We flew down there. It was awesome. Yes, that is well, Pete. Mike kind of took care of everything on this trip, him and his wife, Kelly, and we had an awesome house that we stayed in, Villa Allegra, but because it was a 50th birthday that we were down there for, we renamed it Villa Viagra. We got to go golfing. While we were there. Yes. Went on a nice snorkeling boat ride one day. All our meals were catered to the house. We had chefs come in each night and cook us dinner, and it was just absolutely wonderful. Supposedly, the beach we were on was a top 10 beach in the world. I don't know. It was awfully nice, but I don't know if it'd be top 10. And then on the trip home, the plane ride home, since it was the NHL All-Star break, we had half of the Wild team on our flight back. So that was kind of interesting.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. Had reigning NHL Rookie of the Month, Brock Faber, in the row behind me. And I congratulated him on his award. And he was next to Connor Dewar in that row as well. I figured all these guys would be in first class. No. Most of them were in the back of the plane in coach, which I thought was kind of interesting. But
I told you about when we had the 1980 Olympic hockey team when we were going out to Vegas, right? It was almost
our audience.
Yes. They were just all on a Sun Country flight, which has no first class, and
sure.
So it was a really similar kind of deal.
Yeah. This is interesting. I was standing in the airport, waiting for our flight to take off, and I saw Jared Spurgeon, and I figured, well, he's hurt for the year. Maybe he's just here on vacation. But then started seeing, other guys, and that's when my interest was piqued, and I was like, oh, okay, so there's quite a few guys here, and I guess according to Faber, there was 11 guys down there for the All-Star break. So that was just a fun little thing at the end of the trip. But that was a phenomenal trip, really good time, and had a lot of fun. So that was my first thing for 2024. Not necessarily looking forward to, but something that happened.
That's all right. I'm going to try to go kind of in the order these are going to happen.
Yep.
So in April on my spring break did not line up with my kids this year. So we were going to originally go on my son's spring break, and I was going to miss work for a while, but that didn't work out. We're going on mine instead. So me and just him are going to go to California, and we're going to go to Universal for 2 days because he would love to see the new Super Nintendo World that has opened. And of course, Harry Potter and everything else that's there too. But this will be something new that we have not seen in our trips to these places before. It looks pretty cool. And so we're going to fly out, and we got a place to stay, and we're going to spend 2 days there. And that's going to be like his little senior trip for the year. So we're both very excited about that.
Oh, nice. That sounds excellent. Wow. You said that's California?
California, yes.
Aspen. Excellent. Yes.
Well,
all right. Pete, what do you got? What do you got for number 2 on your list for the year?
Basketball cards.
Spring break. No, I already talked about basketball cards. I do have a bunch more basketball cards I could talk about. But,
break them out.
We are going to Playa del Carmen next month for spring break at the end of the month. So looking forward to that. We got an all-inclusive package. It's been a while since we actually, because when we travel, it's always busy, you're always on the go, and it's a road trip. But this one's just going to be at an all-inclusive resort, and it will be a beach vacation. So looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Nice.
Excellent. For my second thing I'm looking forward to, it's already started, but Sam's winter track season and his spring track season for the University of Minnesota Morris. He runs sprints, usually 200 or the relay. So we'll see how that goes. His first couple meets he has not been happy with, but just kind of a fun thing. And he's got a meet towards the end of the spring season in Morris. Courtney and I are thinking about heading down for that and seeing how that goes. But yeah, just kind of fun to see him and see how he does. It was interesting on their website. He's listed on the track team. So his pictures, his mom says it's really cute, but I think he, looks like a young man, a rather impressive young man at that. And so that was kind of fun just to see that come to fruition and see how the seasons go for him this winter and spring.
So is these like the official track teams, or is this like an intramural type of thing, or?
No, he's on the club men's volleyball team as well, but this
wow.
is
Club
the university. Yeah, he was in a tournament in St. Cloud yesterday, but no, this is the University of Minnesota Morris track team.
Oh wow, I didn't know he was doing this.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, tying into my last one, the reason why we're going to Universal, like I said, is a graduation gift. So we're going to have our first kid's graduation June 1st. We're going to be having a party, and he's going to make it. He's doing great. And he's going to go to Winona State next year in the fall. And actually this Friday, as I'm recording this, him and I are going down there for a kind of a more intense campus tour type of thing. Maybe registering for classes. And so this is very exciting to not only graduate, but I mean, it would be really weird to have a kid not living at home.
Yes, it is.
And what's that like?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll maybe have to ask Gifford some questions about how that all goes. So he won't be too far away. It's 2 hours away, but it's close enough to go see him and everything, but not just right down the road or anything either.
That's like the perfect distance, because I went to Mankato, which was a 2-hour drive, and it's perfect because if you want to go home, you can go home easily.
Well, I'm not going to have a car probably. So
you have distance, right? So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's far enough away where you're just not going to pop in.
Right.
So you gain that independence, but at the same time, there's that security blanket of being able to just coming home. It's not like a flight you got to make or something like that. So. Yeah,
right.
that'll be a big, exciting time for you. Of course, Sam graduated last year. It was a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to that for you. That's a lot of excitement and good for Isaac. Really proud of him, and
sure is.
It'll be a fun transition for him.
All right, got another one, Pete.
Well, yeah, we have one that is scheduled. However, we're having difficulty with it. In fact, today we are trying to book a trip to Glacier National Park in August.
I'd love to go there.
The issue is that we are trying to book, we're going camping there, and you have to book them 6 months out. They release the site so that you can book them, and today is the day. And we went on, and the website either hasn't released it or they've already been sold out, because they
crashed.
That they sold out, and I was online hitting refresh all day long, and so
sure your employer's glad to hear that.
I'm at home,
That was a very popular place to go. I'm not surprised if it's already...
So now I don't know what we're going to do, but if we can make it work, then the Glacier will be on that list. But I don't know. Might have to.
Well, I hope you're able to get a book, because that would be.
That's on my list.
Yeah, my list too. Awesome.
Maybe we'll try and get a bed and breakfast or something. I don't know, but that was what my boss suggested to me. I told him I was doing this right up, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, next thing on my list, 3 days after Pete's birthday is my brother's birthday, and he turns 50 this year. And they are going to have a party for him in June at their place on Lake Benton. And I'm really looking forward to going down. That's going to be a big blowout party. So heading down there and seeing family and friends from back home will be a real good time, and I'm really looking forward to that. And just wishing my big bro a happy 50th. So,
well, you're going to spend a lot of time down there this summer.
I am. Are you going to take my next one?
That's a segue
Not
into
your turn yet.
Go ahead.
I'm next, and shortly right after Isaac graduates, our daughter Isla, if long as we can get an appointment made and everything, is going to be getting her driver's license, and so that will be huge. So the plan is that he's not going to hopefully need a car at college, and then she'll take over his car, and then she'll have a car for the next 2 years, which should work out great. So she's doing a great job. She's driving all over the place, and then she's much a perfectionist, and I know she's going to do fine. But that's going to be really weird to have two drivers too now.
Yeah,
these are old kids.
Insurance rates go up, don't they?
But you're not
sure
getting any older. That's good. Yeah.
Since Gifford already talked about a party happening on Lake Benton, I'm going to also talk about a party happening on Lake Benton. I was the one honored to be elected class president back in 1994, which means I get the honor of organizing all class reunions, and we have another one coming up here. It is our 30th year. I can't believe it's that, right? And we're doing a boat party on Lake Benton. More details to come, but looking forward to that, as I always do. I know Brad is super excited about it as well.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
can't you tell?
Make a note.
I put it on my calendar.
We need to have a discussion after we get off of this podcast tonight as well, in regards to that reunion. So Pete went ahead and took my number 4.
That was my number 5. So
I
only have one left.
I am going to add in then one of my favorite weekends of the year. It's a longer weekend. We take time to go to Wisconsin to see basically the same crew we went to Turks and Caicos with out at Mike's lake cabin. And that's just a really nice, relaxing, fun time with some college buddies and their wives. And so, yeah, that's always a nice time. Usually try to make it a 4-day weekend and do a little boating, do a little drinking, do a little, card playing, sitting around the fire. And so, yeah, that's another one I look forward to every year.
All right, and we've kind of started a tradition too. My last one here for tonight is my golf trip. So a few years ago, I went to Whistling Straits in Wisconsin. 2 years ago, we went to Nova Scotia. Last year, we went to Bandon Dunes in Oregon. It was great. This year, we're going all the way to that. Really, I'm drawing a blank on the word I wanted to use. It was going to be ironic. We're going to Nebraska.
Oh, of course.
But anyway, so we'll drive this time. There's going to be probably 8 of us, and we're going to hit this really cool course that's been written a lot about, that was created by like farmers in this town and right off the interstate pretty much down there on 80. But then we're going to go up into I've never been up into this area. I just know that Sand Hills is like one of the most exclusive, most amazing golf courses in the entire country. And we'll never get a chance to play on it because it's private. But they opened another one for the lay folk like us called Prairie Club. And so we're going to go play that, and it's going to be really cool. It looks really awesome. And I've never been in that part of the state. Appearance really beautiful, and obviously it must be to have this destination golf courses. So that's going to be great. And then on the way home, we were going to hit this other new one that just opened up pretty near Sioux City. But like Pete with Glacier, I was like online looking for tee times and there was nothing there. And I'm like, they haven't done this yet because nothing happening. And I finally called the phone number just to see if I could text somebody. And the message tells me they sold out of every tee time for the entire season in 25 minutes. So I'm like, first of all, I don't think that's impossible. That's made up. They're just, but we can't get on there. So unless somebody magically cancels their tee time on the exact day that we want it, probably gonna have to skip that one. But we're still going to get to a pretty great trip out of the deal anyway. But that's how popular these places are. It is like we went to Bandon Dunes last year. You got to basically book that almost 2 full years in advance now to even get a spot. It's insane.
Not
COVID
your local
really
muni,
killed golf for people like me because it just brought too many people in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's my last one. Looking forward to having another golf trip.
another trip that we haven't booked yet, but is on our radar for later in the year is, you guys remember in that one episode that I said Europe? We are looking to go to Europe, even though I know there's many countries in Europe. Yeah, it probably would be
so
late.
You're going to Mexico, Glacier, and Europe all in the next few months.
That's the plan.
Must be nice.
Yeah, well.
That pop
anyway,
culture yearbook money.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just who's the financial
and teachers like me with the summer off. Well, you guys can get time off whenever you want. You can take trips whenever you want to. You get just as much time off as I do. So
I'm gonna have to sell a shitload of baseball cards.
Yes, you are. You're gonna need that ship to come in, is what you're gonna need right there. Holy cow!
Thank God I got a sweet offer on some Shane Mack cards that I'm gonna be able to pay for Europe.
That's true.
That's right. Yep. I'll pay for a couple of your plane tickets.
Yeah. So anyway, details to come on that, but yeah, that's on our radar.
Well, that's quite the year Pete's having.
Yeah, no kidding.
Gifford, you got any more?
I got one last thing here. I was told to write down 5, so I wrote down 5.
And my fifth one was the 30th reunion, so that's
sure. So not that this season is over yet, but next fall, Paul will start his last season of youth hockey. So youth hockey is 10 years worth of hockey. They start when they're 5, and Paul will be a second-year Bantam next year, and just looking forward to it. Just a lot of fun. All the memories you make with your kids, and the kids that they play with, and the parents that you meet. It's just been absolutely wonderful. It'll be our 15th season next year.
Wow,
because Sam was
a big change.
Yeah, so that's it's going to be bittersweet for sure, but just absolutely love watching the kids play. Of course, you guys know that we call our kids' games and broadcast our kids' games, and that's just a ton of fun for Courtney and I. I absolutely love it, and had the opportunity to start doing it, I guess, professionally this year, calling games for the high school, and I'm hoping I can, maybe fill some of that time doing a few more high school games once I'm no longer needed for the youth hockey circuit. But
so will he play high school hockey after this, or is this kind of going to be it?
I don't know. It's hard to say. It just depends on where his desires lie, and if he's good enough to continue on. So we'll see how it goes. It could be the last season that he plays. So I hope it's not. I mean, he has an opportunity to continue, but we'll see how it goes. But I know as far as the youth stuff goes, that's because once you get to high school, as a parent, you're really kind of cut out of it. He'll be driving by the time practice starts when he's a sophomore, so we won't be taking him to practices anymore. There's no more, long weekends and in the car and going to tournaments, which is a ton of fun for the parents as well. So this is kind of the last hurrah for that, and I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good.
Okay, well, we ready to preview what's to come on the show now?
Yes, sir.
What am I, a damn fortune teller?
We've got our next 3 months here planned out in detail, and we're excited to share them with you, and we're excited to get back to business. So,
yeah,
in March, Gifford, you picked the year, so why don't you kick off what we're doing?
So in March, we are going to be covering 1990. So of course, we always cover things that came out during that year, and a couple buddies of mine, one in particular, Ryan McCain, who I went to college with, him and I were big fans of this show, and he had texted me and said, "Hey, when are you going to cover the Wonder Years?" And so I specifically picked 1990 because we hadn't did that year yet, and also because Wonder Years ran during that year. So a little shout out to McCain. I got Wonder Years fit into the schedule, and we are going to be covering it. I started watching it yesterday. It's on Hulu, and it is as great as I remember it. Now I'm watching it through the eyes of the parent. And I've got an 8th grader right now, and I'm looking at things, the way he might. And it's just awesome. I love the show.
Well,
I'm looking
and
forward
when
to
it came
covering
out, we were in 7th or 8th grade.
7th grade.
We were basically
That
Kevin
age.
and Winnie's age. It
Mhm.
was, it was just the perfect show to come out at the perfect time for
Yep.
us. So it makes sense that you picked it,
Yeah.
and it was meaningful to all of us. I didn't stick with the show like all the way to the end, but those first couple seasons were like it was a big deal. It's
Must see TV. And then of course at the end of it we have our top 5 drafts, and for that episode I have picked the best coming of age TV or movies. So we'll see what we come up with for that, but I would think Wonder Years might make somebody's list.
Very broad topic. We can cover a lot of ground on that one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be fun.
All right. And it turns out we're going to be doing all TV in 1990, which is something that's never happened here on Pop Culture Yearbook.
No.
We've done all movies before, but we've never done all music or all TV, but that's how it worked out. So my choice, speaking of coming of age, when I was a kid, I loved when I first got the opportunity to kind of stay up late and check out this show that I had seen and heard about before, and that was Saturday Night Live. And I think most people kind of love the cast that they grew up with, but the cast we grew up with was the best cast. Dana Carvey and Jan Hooks and Phil Hartman. We'll talk about that. It was incredible. And in 1990, they were all still there, and they had added Mike Myers, and then they almost had like another cast member. Tom Hanks was on tons of times, and he was on twice in 1990. And we're going to talk about 2 different episodes that he hosted. And there were some of the all-time greatest sketches in there that I just love. So it's going to be great to relive that. And we're going to draft our favorite cast members of Saturday Night Live at the end of that, which could get a little heated, I think. It'll be interesting, though, too, because Gifford, of course, we all know, legend has it, he never had NBC.
Right.
So might not know for sure who his picks will be, if they'll all come from recent years or what.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to find out.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Pete. Hey, what are we going to do for our finale of the month?
Oh, good segue. One of the first sitcoms that I can remember when I was growing up that we viewed as a family as appointment television, which that was a phrase that we didn't use back then, but we would now. And by the way, speaking of a great cast, as far as a sitcom, this had probably one of the best ensemble casts of all time. And Bob Newhart, of course, was an absolute comic genius, and it was just brilliantly written, just comedy gold, time after time.
So you're talking about the show Newhart.
The show Newhart, yes.
Or it could be the Bob Newhart
I was setting
show.
up.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it didn't sound like okay.
I was going to go for it, but now thanks, you ruined it for me.
Gonna go for it, honey.
You stepped on my
Wild
touchdown
animal.
call.
We're going to apologize.
Yes, Newhart. And the reason that Brad talked about finales is that this was probably one of the most well-known or famous finales of any TV show. And so we're going to be talking about top TV finales for our top 5 list.
And of course, this is fitting because Newhart ended in 1990, so it fits perfectly.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so 1990, a lot of TV. Now, were there a lot of great movies? There sure were, and I've got a list that's going on forever when we do our drafts. But
yes,
we're gonna focus on TV. All right, in April, we're gonna cover 2004, which I picked, and so this is 20 years ago, guys. 20 years ago. 2004. Doesn't feel like it. You'd think that's not very long ago. One of my favorite bands of all time, I picked them in our favorite bands draft when we did our REM episode, is Green Day, and they just put out a brand new album that's fantastic, by the way. But in 1994, in 1994, they put out Dookie, which is an all-time classic.
That's an all-timer.
But in 2004, they were a big deal, and we'll talk more about this then. But, this is kind of almost a comeback thing. They just blew the doors off the place again with American Idiot, an album that's just iconic and seeped into so much of pop culture, and it's just fantastic, and I can't wait to talk about it. And we'll draft our favorite Green Day songs probably in that one.
Excellent.
And then Pete's up.
One a movie that I thought was just absolutely hilarious. One day that I remember I hadn't seen it, but I was sitting around. I was sick. all day, and so I had nothing to do. I had to watch a movie, and I picked this one out. Look forward to talking about Napoleon Dynamite, which usually when I watch a movie by myself, it's not as funny as it is watching with friends, and I'm sure that would be funnier. But this one, I was just in tears laughing. Just sitting there by myself. So the top 5 I can certainly relate to, because it'll be the top 5 nerd movies of all time.
Yeah, where the nerd is the primary character.
Primarily about nerds or plotted around nerds. I suppose this could be TV shows too. We have movies on our thing, but we could also talk about TV shows.
Sure. Yeah. So this was a tough one to pick. There's
actually,
so much.
This movie you picked could almost fit that list, I think, as I'm thinking of it right now.
Well, it's an underdog story.
It's a true underdog story.
Underdog story, and that is Dodgeball, a true underdog story. I was trying to figure out what to pick for this year, and it came down to my wife. When I was mentioning it to my wife, she said, "This is on brand for you." So I'm going with a movie that I absolutely love. I own on DVD, and I've been called, the Vince Vaughn of our friend group as well. So we are going to pick our Vince Vaughn credits, top Vince Vaughn credits in our top 5.
I'm just peeking here at I've made like my movie list for our draft for that year. Mm-hmm. And my top 2 movies on my list are Napoleon Dynamite and Dodgeball. So I think you guys made some pretty good choices, in my opinion.
Brad's loving this year for sure, and it's fitting that you picked 2004, and then your top 2 movies are being talked about as well.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, and then in May, Pete, you picked the year for May and kick it off. You've got a great idea for this one.
Yeah, you might want to make sure the kids aren't listening right now, because we're about to talk about we're going to be talking about a great, teen movie.
What's the year?
It was 1983. Sorry about that. But this is kind of a breakthrough movie for Tom Cruise. We're talking about Risky Business, and we're going to be talking about the steamiest scenes in movies in movie history.
Yes, that's going to be a lot of fun. So for 1983, I'm a little hesitant on my pick just because it is so near and dear to so many people's hearts. It's a very big topic, but I'm sure here at Pop Culture Yearbook, we can cover it and cover it well.
Well, we don't shy away from anything.
No, that is Return of the Jedi. So, of course, I love this movie, love the first 3. It's ingrained in my childhood. So we are going to be covering that. And then we are going to draft our top 5 sci-fi movies at the end of that episode.
All right. And then we'll bring it home here. So in May of 1980, or in May, we're doing 1983. And without even really making a list, I kind of knew what my pick was I've got a list of, what we might pick for future years we haven't done yet. But there was one tape as a kid that I remember owning, cassette tape, that was like mine, that I didn't buy it, whatever. But, a lot of the records, they were shared by siblings and everything. But this one was mine, and I listened to it on my little tape player over and over and over again, and it took the country by storm. It was one of the biggest ones of 1984. And that's Huey Lewis in the News Sports. And I can't wait to talk about that one. I actually just bought the vinyl a year ago, and we were listening to it the other night. And, there's so many huge hits on it. It was just hit after hit after hit. And Huey Lewis was just a big time in the 80s. And then I'm not sure of our top 5 yet for our draft, but a couple good ideas that we might do. Not relating directly to this album, but Huey Lewis was huge with soundtracks in the 80s, like with The Power of Love, with Back to the Future in particular. So we could do top songs from movies, maybe like 80s soundtrack songs. Or I think it was Gifford brought up that he was in Back to the Future himself. We might Pete. Do like, that was Pete?
Yep.
Give credit where credit's due, Brad.
Okay, it's Pete. Cameos by musicians in movies, because it was a very famous cameo. It's very short, but that's what a cameo is. It's cameo. Very well remembered. He's got a great line. So we could talk about that too. So we'll come up with something fun. We'll talk about those either way, I'm sure, but we'll build a draft around one of those topics.
Excellent. Well, I'm
all
looking
of these,
forward
by the way, are subject to change. This is our
could.
current plan. I think we have a good plan in place, but you
So
never
that's
know.
your-
We might think of something that is going to blow you guys away. So
That's your March, April, and May. If you have an idea for what you'd love to hear us talk about later in the year, share it with us, and we can try
That's
to
right.
fit it onto the into the old docket here.
Yeah.
we will do it. Yes.
Please
absolutely.
We
reach
don't
out
want to
to
plan
us.
ahead too much, Pete. You don't
It might
plan
not
ahead
work
too
out.
much. It might not work out right.
Well, what movie? Gifford doesn't know it because he hasn't seen it.
No.
I bet he could
That
guess.
was a
though.
great line from
That's the room.
I'm guessing it's I was gonna
It's-
say,
it's
I'm guessing
Tommy.
it's the- yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, Johnny.
Hey, Gifford.
Yeah.
You know what band I'm looking forward to the most listening to in 2024?
Preacher Row.
That's right.
Oh,
Specifically,
awesome.
the same two songs over and over again.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe we should change it. I love it though. I love our intro. I would
Yes.
love to change it.
It's our brand, baby.
That's
Yep.
right.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
Here they are.
I hope you're looking forward to the year like we are.
Yes.
We'll be back in full force in March.
And thank you for listening, and please continue to listen. We'll talk
Tell
to
a
you again
friend.
soon.
Write a review.
Bye.
Do whatever you can.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Standing on my own 2 feet. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your son is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Hands tied, tell me on my back. I turn and I look to you. I'm scared, but there's nothing I can do. And hide if you want to.